Okay guys, so obviously if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you know I like to do multiple videos sometimes on the same subject matter. So this video actually might have Satoru Iwata's name in it. I didn't want to do that on the other video because I didn't want it to be clickbait. This is not clickbait either, but I figured I would use his name because I think I still have a message about social media and just how I also get motivated on my channel to make videos. Now, when Satoru Iwata died, if that's even how you say his name, and see, I can't even pronounce his name correctly, so his death didn't hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm probably getting his name wrong, but when he died, it didn't make me think about Balloon Fight. When he died, it didn't make me think about Kirby. When he died, it didn't make me think about Earthbound. And although I did like playing Balloon Fight on my NES, and do have fond memories of Balloon Fight on my NES, it didn't resonate with me enough to say, oh my gosh, the guy that helped with this game is dead, right? We established that in the other video. I am going to kind of touch on some of the same subject matter. If you're sensitive about this, you probably shouldn't watch this video. But I want to explain more what went through my mind today and what went through my mind when the death of Satoru Iwata occurred. If you want to watch my other video and you've never been to my channel, go check that out. I'm not going to hit on all that same stuff again, but it made me think about cancer. And here's where we're going to hit on some of the same stuff. You got to remember, subscribers, some people that are seeing this video for the first time have not heard this. It made me think about cancer. It made me think of my mom, who I last saw alive on Christmas, who was dying in the hospice. It made me think about her and her bone cancer and her death. And 2 weeks later, within this year, after Christmas was over, she was dead. And I have no mom. And I have a stepfather I don't really have a fantastic relationship with because I moved out at an early age. So he was never really my father. And my real father, unfortunately, when he left my mother, he left me too. And so unfortunately my mother had 3 marriages, married an alcoholic who beat her with a golf club in the face that I had to watch when I was a child. And this is all stuff I've touched on in my other videos. And I'm not telling anybody this so that you can show me sympathy for my mom. You did in the video I made about my mom. Thank you. And some of you did in the video that I made yesterday about not trying to make a trendy clickbait emotional Nintendo video. And honestly, I don't reserve any emotions for a man I don't know. And it's made me think a lot about my mom. And this is what I was thinking about today. And also because I got trolled. And the good thing about trolls is they do motivate my channel. They say some pretty awful stuff. And so that kind of helped me with this video. And I'm sure I'll get some horrible trolls with this video too. But the troll said, other than your mom raising a piece of shit, what were her achievements compared to Satoru Iwata? Okay? Because Satoru Iwata made video games. So apparently to this person, the power of a woman being able to give birth, okay, let's toss that out the fucking door, right? The guy debugged video games. Can't bear a fucking child, but he made video games, so your mom's a piece of shit because I don't understand you and can't comprehend you. And you don't follow with the masses. And so that made me think. And because of these various videos on YouTube and comments, it did make me think about Balloon Fight. Didn't make me think about Earthbound, okay? It made me think about getting an 8-bit Nintendo the year they released, and I got one for Christmas. It made me think about a good memory with my mom, which is fantastic because my mom died from bone cancer. I'm still having to deal with that. And people are wanting me to manufacture feelings for a guy that made video games. And when I'm sitting in the church and there's my mom's casket, someone leans over to me and they try to soothe me and they say, think about all the good memories that you and your mom had. That tore me the fuck up because I couldn't think about any good memories that me and my mom had. Not one. I came home and I made an emotional video for y'all and I could not think of one good memory that I had of my mother. Because we did not have a good relationship. We had a rocky relationship. My mom had been divorced. She'd been married 3 times. That's definitely gonna, change you as a teenager. You get sent to 2 drug rehabilitation centers, even though you're not on drugs. And people want you to manufacture feelings for a video game programmer. Debugger, whatever he did. Doesn't matter to me. Not one bit. Not one. But because he died of cancer, and people have brought this man up to me, it's made me, obviously he worked for Nintendo for 20 years. I got a Nintendo when they came out. I've had every Nintendo. But that does not tie me into this gentleman. I know some of you want me to be tied into it, but look at all the great memories he gave you. He didn't give me any memories. I don't know the guy, and I didn't know that he manufactured any of these games. He helped with any of them until I read an article. And like I said, 5 minutes into reading that article, 5 minutes afterwards, I can't get emotional over it. I'm sorry. But it made me think of my mom. And it made me think of a mom, and I don't need to give any personal achievements my mom gave out, because I don't need to answer to a troll. But this is great because it's made me think about a positive time that I had with my mom. Unfortunately, it's something that she bought me, but it's a positive memory, which is fantastic because I sat in a church with my mom's coffin and my mom is fucking dead. And I can't think of any good goddamn memory of my dead mother while I'm sitting there with her like 8 feet across in a casket. But then, because of this guy who died, who happened to work at Nintendo, and then people that decided to troll me over my video and ask me, other than my mom raising a piece of shit, You know, what are her achievements? And I wanted to think about some of her achievements. Obviously, just naturally, you start to think about that, you know. And I did type the young man or the gentleman or whoever the hell it was. Well, her achievements were the fact that she gave herself to God, okay? And she was a very religious person. And that's all she worked on all her life was the church, the church, the church, okay? And maybe that's why me and my mom didn't have a good relationship. And maybe that's why I don't have a very fantastic relationship with church. Mother worked in the church and was Catholic. Father worked in the church and was Baptist. Talk about being fucked up when it comes to religion. But what did this guy's death do for me? Made me think I got an 8-bit Nintendo when they came out. I had a shitty childhood. Chitty childhood. I had a shitty childhood. But my mom, you know what she did? She was a single mom and she raised me. And you know what I didn't get into? Drugs. You know what I did? I graduated. I didn't become a piece of shit. I know some of you think I'm a piece of shit, and that's fine. But what's so fantastic about my mom, and one of the things she did that was fantastic as a single mom, is she bought second-hand clothes so her kid wouldn't have to go to school in second-hand clothes and get made fun of. She would have wore trash bags if it was fucking acceptable so that I can wear name brand clothes and not get harassed in fucking school. And then Christmas came and she knew all I fucking wanted was an 8-bit Nintendo. And guess what I got? The year they came out was a fucking 8-bit Nintendo. And I found out before I even got it because I chased the dog under the bed. And there was my 8-bit Nintendo. It was all wrapped, but I knew what it was. I think I took a little peek or something. I got an 8-bit Nintendo. But then, that brings me to the memories of, because some of you like to troll my teeth. So let's go there. See that? Those teeth are actually real good. This is the only one that's back there, okay? Because I get hit by a bike, I lose my retainer. Parents didn't bother to get me another retainer, okay? Whole nother story. But they had to break the roof of my fucking mouth. And why they had to break the roof of my mouth, there was a metal plate in there. And my mom would have to put a key in it and turn the key. And my mom, she had a temper. Mom would stick that key in my mouth and she was told to turn that key twice. Mom would get pissed off and turn that key 3 to 4 to 5 times. So unfortunately, that was around the same time I got an 8-bit Nintendo. So I have fond memories of getting an 8-bit Nintendo. I don't have fond memories of a guy who made Balloon Fight. And it's great that I have fond memories of getting an 8-bit Nintendo, but they're within that same year where they had to break the top of my fucking jaw to get me braces. And my mom abused me. Because what else would you call that? There's a device already in your mouth. Your mom's pissed off. She's only supposed to turn the key once or twice. And your mom's just fucking yanking it like that, fucking up your mouth. Meanwhile, your mom dies of bone cancer. You don't have a great relationship with her. Because there's a perfect example. And you're sitting in her fucking funeral and you're going, I really wish I could think of something fantastic about my mom, but I can't. And here we are, just a few months later, and this guy dies of cancer. And people troll me because I don't have any emotions on the matter. Because I reserve my emotions for my mom. And it saddens me because this makes me think about my mom. And then when it makes me think about my mom, it makes me think about all this bullshit. Because even when I try to think of a fantastic memory, like my mom getting me an 8-bit Nintendo, all the other shitty memories come with it. But I don't live in social media. I make some videos to entertain y'all and be funny. I don't have a Facebook. I don't have a Twitter. I have an app that gives me my video game news information. And then you have an app. And every video game website front page is talking about Satoru Iwata. Sure, he was in the industry for 20 years. But you don't think each one of those individual game sites have to put that on the front? Everybody's competing for traffic. You have YouTubers making video after video after video after video, and none of you can clue the fuck in about that? And then when I'm the guy that just brings it to the table and tells you like it fuck it is, you don't know how to handle yourself. Oh, how dare he not be upset over this? How dare he not acknowledge the man's achievements? And then you know the sad thing is, I sold that 8-bit Nintendo. And today, it hit me. My mom was upset when I sold that 8-bit Nintendo to a pawn shop. I had my boss, because he was old enough to sell. I wasn't. And I was just like under the age to sell it or whatever. And so he sold it for me. And I sold it because I got a Sega Genesis and I wanted to get the new games. And I didn't think later on down the line, shit, that's something that would be a great collector's item. I just went from next generation, next generation, next generation. And my mom was so upset that I sold that 8-bit Nintendo many, many years later. And I can see why now that my mom was upset that I sold that 8-bit Nintendo. She went out of her way to wear fucking hand-me-downs and clothes from Goodwill to buy that for me and put name brand clothes on me so I wouldn't get made fun of at school. For that little asshole, that little piece of shit, to walk in a pawn shop and turn around and sell that Nintendo. Who would have known it meant anything to her? And she probably thought it meant nothing to me. And it meant the world. And here I am. Many, 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 many years later, thinking about this fucking 8-bit Nintendo. Not Satoru Iwata or whatever the fuck his name is, because he made fucking Balloon Fight or fucking Kirby or Earthbound or whatever the fuck everybody wants to get upset about on social media. So here is what I have to say about social media. Social media has given us a cultivation of morose motherfuckers in a social media ocean of masses in this echo chamber called Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, you fucking name it. You have a social media phenomenon of caring about things the masses care about, things you may never have cared about before or until social media enslaved your fucking lives. You have a community of wannabes repeating the same tired shit shared from Facebook to Facebook. Hell, just look at the YouTube gaming community channels. You can't tell half of them a fucking part. You have people all feeling and sharing the same manufactured fucking emotions because of social media and its hold on your daily fucking life. Then, when someone steps out of their manufactured emotional fucking box, you don't know how to act when somebody actually fucking thinks for themselves and shows any kind of fucking emotions other than the same as yours. You can't seem to compute or calculate because you've been part of the goddamn herd for so long. So when this guy died, this is what all this made me fucking think about. Enjoy.